Well, as we get to celebrate the Engineers Day, I would like to have my personal view on the Indian engineers' impact on global society. As you have seen or heard from Dr. Subramanaian and Gulshan Saab, how we have developed our manpower or our intellectual journey, right, from pre-independence to the independence phase. But what really happened 50 years before was those institutes that got created, brain drain was what synonym with the Indian engineers who were looking for better social security, living conditions, healthcare, and opportunities. Even though Government of India made a lot of attempts in 1966 to have the liberalization process, but it didn't really happen. So even again, it was tried in 1980, but it was really in the 1990 when a thorough liberalization was initiated, which led to the boom in the Indian economy across industry. Now, why is it important? Because India was growing and India had not much of the infrastructure that you see today, but it's the process by which it evolved and it got into a phase where today we are able to get into a global society. So if I go to my globalization, which is again, first we had liberalization and post-liberalization, where the beneficiary was the IT industry and Indian engineers across the stream became a global workforce. The global workforce contributed to the globalization across goods, services, data, and technology. Globalization is a significant factor in the competitive world because it integrates and mobilizes cultural values of people at global level. And this is where you see the transition of Indian engineers moving into a global market. And in the rapid technical progression, many countries are unified and transformed due to the process of globalization. Of course, you would have seen the East and West Germany getting merged into one country. Globalization has got a huge impact on culture, social, monetary, political, and communal life of countries. In broad sense, the term globalization means combination of economies and societies through cross-country flow of information, idea, technology, goods, services, capital, finance, and most important, people. It's the Indian talent people which is enriching the global economy. And those numbers that you've heard from Gulshan Saab or from Dr. Subramanaian on the engineers and the engineering colleges that are being there in India and how it is contributing at a global scale. Now, how do we go to a society, right? So Indians grew up seeing diverse cultures, regions, traditions, and much more. They have differing opinions and perspective towards many subjects. This makes them more inclusive, which is a common practice followed by most modern multinational companies. Moreover, Indians are also familiar with volatility and uncertainty. This is a background where we have got 28 states, more than 50 different languages, cultures, and that is how Indians have molded themselves into a global family, or now we call it as a global village, right? Indians have raised in a family system that embraces hard work and perseverance. Naturally, these qualities help transform into passionate and self-driven professionals. Simply put, it's a blessing and a power that helps them excel at work and achieve more milestones than others. Here you look at the impact on global society. Indians who have, the highly educated Indians who have migrated and they come from India predominantly, and you have the other countries closely followed by China and others. The data clearly shows that the Indian engineers make up a large contribution to this migration, and the Indian diaspora across the globe is getting benefited. And it's not surprising to see all these multinational companies having a collaboration with the Indian operations and opportunities coming back to India. And it's a society which we call it as a global society and a global village. And any of these impact that you see would be having a cascading effect across the region. It's no surprise that the Indian technocrats are today leading top technical firms like Google, Microsoft, Twitter, Adobe across the globe. But this journey to reach such prestigious position is not easy. It's apart from the qualifications, it also takes years of learning and upskilling to come up the ladder and become the CEO of the company. We'll look at a couple of examples here where Indian educated engineers, Satya Nadella, where he graduated from Manipal Institute of Technology, where there is no surprise that the Indian technocrats are leading the top tech firms, and you have Satya Nadella, who graduated from Manipal Institute in electrical engineer, and then subsequently did his master's and then went on to lead the Microsoft. And similarly, you have Sundar Pichai, who did his metallurgical engineering from IIT Kharagpur, material science in post-graduation, and subsequently he transitioned himself into a CEO of Google. Now, all Microsoft and Google impact our lives. So directly or indirectly, they are impacting the society. They are influencing the decisions that we make in our day-to-day business or day-to-day transactions, including what kind of search we are doing. We also have Parag Agrawal, who is the CEO of Twitter from IIT Bombay, computer science. And then Raj Subramanaian, again IIT Bombay, chemical engineer, but CEO of FedEx. So Indian engineers have impacted the global society, and in short, they also have a large number of Indians or Indian migrants or Indian origins working in their parent company or in the operations back in India. India's hub of talent has brought this change, and this change is going to continue and is going to make a considerable impact on the future of the multinationals. And you've already seen the growing number of tech companies around the world that are opening or expanding their operations in India. The trend is not restricted to IT. It is also in other industries and advanced technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning, digital enterprise, Internet of Things, industrial automation, and mobility. If you've heard the news, we have iPhone 14 getting manufactured in India, and more recently, the semiconductor, which was predominantly Chinese and Taiwan based. Now we have the semiconductor facility between Vedanta and Foxconn being set up in India. Again, these are the global changes that are coming up, and being Indian engineers, getting the opportunities, migrating to other countries and part of the global society. In short, it's a global village, and being able to influence the day-to-day task of or impacting our day-to-day task of the lives of individuals help us in a great way. Thank you, Dr. Gautam, for providing the opportunity, and I wish a very happy Engineers Day. And thanks again for listening and giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Poonachi, for such a wonderful talk. And I would say that if anyone has any question, I request to keep writing on the chat box towards the end. We will try to answer all those. And unfortunately, we are a couple of minutes delay, but I think we can understand all these technical issues. So thank you very much, Mr. Poonachi. And